today to our Todd's team. So they're going to get into today a little bit about how you can showcase your tourism business, learn a little bit more about that eligibility, some of those locations, costs, etc. And really happy to have Randy, John, and Sandra here today to help with some questions and to share a little bit of that information. So I'm going to let them do their little bit of that introduction and happy to hand the presentation over to them.
Good morning, everyone. So my name's Randy Nichols. I'm the general manager for Canadian Tods. We run two companies here. It's Canadian Tods, which is your tourism-oriented directional signing, and that applies to the tourist attractions. And as well as that, we have the Ontario Logos Sign Program, which is the food, fuel, and accommodations. In Bruce County, Highway 6, Highway 21, and what's the other highway?
9.
6, 21, and 9?
Yep.
Okay. So they are provincial Kings Highway and they do not qualify for the Logos program. So today we're just going to be talking strictly about the TODS program. So Canadian TODS is responsible for administering the program for the province of Ontario through the Ministry of Transportation and the Ministry of Tourism. Basically, the Ministry of Transportation says where the signs can go, and the Ministry of Tourism gives us the guidelines as to who can qualify for those signs. Presently, we display over 10,000 sign panels throughout the province, and we have over 2,000 intersections sold. We have a staff of 16 right now, and there's a lot of experience here, well over 100 years between everybody. I've been with Canadian Tods 24 years now, and John has been with Canadian Tods 21, and Sandra, who's on the line as well, has been with Canadian Tods for 21 years. John is our sales manager, and Sandra is the territory or field account manager in the area of Bruce County and all the Western Ontario area, Southwestern. That basically a little bit about our staff. We have 8 full-time staff at our Woodbridge office. We have 8 field staff out in the territories, and in sign inspector, as well as 7 field account managers. We have subcontractors strategically located throughout the province for installing and maintaining the signs for us, and we have our fabricator in Pontypool. The current provincial agreement, which holds the pricing where it's at from 2020 until 2031, possibly if we get the extension, pricing will not go up during that whole time frame. This is the conclusion. It just basically says what the signs are to guide people to the destinations. And here is Bruce County map, which is where you guys are located. And it's Highway 6, Highway 9, and Highway 21. So our agreement with Bruce County is that you have to have a provincial road start. So your sign would start on one of those highways, and then you would have follow-up trailblazing signage to take them to the destination. Once we start a route, we have to be able to bring the tourist right to the destination through the follow-up signage. Here's an example of some of the signs in the area. And then next we have our marketing sheet, which breaks down the cost of the signs and breaks it down to a daily cost where you can have a signage for about a cup of coffee a day is what it basically works out to. And that's to have your exposure 365 days a year, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Your name is out there. There is specific criteria and general criteria that the province has you qualify under. almost anybody can qualify under the general criteria, and we'll get more into that when we go onto the website. Presently, there are 52 specific criterias that the government allows signage under. And this is the list of those, which we can show on the website how you get into those and take a look at how your business qualifies. So in closing of this slide presentation, once again, working for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
It's nice to see how many signs we already have in this area, and really recognizing those businesses who are on those. They do stand out.
So has the website come up for you there?
Yes, it has.
Okay.
Yeah, Sean.
So navigating through our website, when you come up on the home page, it's defaulted to the logos program. So you just go to home and you scroll down to the TODs, and then it switches over to the TODs. And then the easiest thing is overview. And here we'll give you the eligibility criteria that we were talking about. So at the top is the general criteria. Once again, almost every business in Ontario will qualify under the general criteria. It's when we scroll down, and for instance, boat rentals and charters as an example. So it outlines everything you must have for the specific criteria, and it shows the icons that are available for boat rentals, such as whitewater rafting, kayaking, paddle boarding, canoeing, motorboats. It has it all. Or if you're a campground, the standard campground symbol. And once again, it says you must have transient sites available and the facilities to service those sites. There's a whole list. I don't know where you want, maybe water trail access points. And so on. So there's 52. They've pretty well covered everything. They review it every once in a while, and some get added, some get taken away. If you have a spa, it says, you must have, 2 treatments in this category, a minimum of 3 in this, and a minimum of 3 in that. Yeah, it's pretty thorough as to what you have to qualify.
Randy, can I just add something quickly? Just with the icons, they're for sign types that we call regulars. There is an option for a major sign. And if you do get a major sign, it's just a larger sign, but you're able to use a custom logo. So a color logo that's designed for the business can be used on a main line. And like I say, it's custom to the business in color.
Okay. So under the overview as well, once you think that you qualify there's an online application that you go to. Click on the PDF and you fill it out and attach it and email it in. And then we forward it to, in this case, it would be Sandra, who takes care of Bruce. And then we go forward from there. Standard construction for a sign is 90 days. If there's no issues, of course, this time of year, there are winter season delays, which we're not supposed to be doing any construction January, February, or March. However, if weather permits, we do get out there. We're not allowed on the roads at all during snowplow operations. And we do have a system where you can pay your invoices online. Makes it easier, especially with the Canada Post strike. And there's our contact right there. So you can attach that message there, or you can even just send us your information there and we'll send Sandra the email and she'll contact it and try and answer your questions. So that's about it. That's Canadian Tods in a nutshell.
That's
Does
awesome.
anyone have any questions that
While the group thinks about any questions, I appreciate that overview. This can sometimes be a little bit of a complicated program, but being able to see this stuff, and this is your opportunity. If you have specific questions, Sandra is here today, and she is, I'm told, going to answer every single question we possibly have.
Absolutely.
Perfect. No, that works well.
Possibly.
But I have a question here, and this might help anybody in the group. So your business doesn't have to be located on one of those highways to have a sign there, correct?
To qualify for the signs, if you can't have signs on the same highway you're located. So the signs would start some from Highway 6 or Highway 21, and then a sign at each turn till we reach the destination. But the way the ministry set this up is so we don't put signs that pull through. So say straight ahead, you're like 5 kilometers straight ahead.
Okay. Well, that helps. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Jen, you have a question. Would you like to just speak?
Sure. Sorry that I can't turn my camera on. Apologies. I don't have that extra laptop open right now. And sorry, I'm kind of green to this. I'm new in economic development for Aaron Eldersley, which is Chesley, Paisley, and Tara. So I've got some base level questions for you. So one sign. So I'm looking at Cape Croker behind you, Randy. So they would be Cape Croker. Sorry, this is a twofold question. Cape Croker or the community would have a contract for that sign. And then is it one sign, or are there multiple signs that say, you know, Cape Croker 20, Cape Croker turn here?
So for each client, the attraction itself signs up, or if they're having funding from another entity, that entity signs up on behalf of that attraction. So for Cape Croker, there's multiple signs. That's like the first sign on Highway 6. And then you'll see a sign at each turn until we turn people onto the road Cape Croker Park is located on. Now, Cape
Okay.
Croker is contracted with us direct for that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question here in the chat. Are you guys able to read that, Sandra, Randy, John? So just about struggling with the program, who would be the best person for, or who would reach out to Catherine directly?
I can't see the question.
Okay. Yeah, so just applied for a sign and had been delayed with the signage. I'm summarizing here.
Yeah, Catherine, what is the name of the business?
Essentially lavender.
Sandra, what can you tell me about Essentially Lavender?
I'm trying to remember. Sorry, am I on speaker there? Yes. I know there was an issue and I can't remember what it was off the top of my head. So sometimes there is a delay with a permit. If she had permits that were required aside from Highway 6 or Highway 21, and if there's construction, are you affected by construction on Highway 9? Again, I'm trying to go by memory because I
Yes,
recognize the
yes.
name. Okay, so if I'm correct now, remembering, so there's a section of Highway 9, there was projected construction. So the MTO asked me to hold off doing the contract because it was coming up within months. And I believe that that construction is actually not done till the end of this year or into the spring. So when there's construction, we can't send you a contract until the construction is done. The MTO has their signs up, so then we can measure where our signs will fit in between the MTO signs. And then once we have the permit, that's the time I can send you the contract.
And what I will do, Kathy, is I'll reach out to you afterwards and we'll make sure you have all of this information directly. Is that okay? Perfect. Perfect.
I am
Well,
not going to bash the MTO in any way, but right now it's extremely hard to get answers from the Ministry of Transportation. They no longer have phones at their office. The PC government took away their phones and they operate from mobile phones. So just getting answers for different areas is extremely difficult. And unfortunately, we can't place a sign until we have a permit. So we have to fight tooth and nail to get a permit sometimes. And that's what we're up against in this case. And hopefully they get that construction going and we get the answers that we need.
yeah, it's been a long construction on that route for sure.
Yes. I actually did have all the permits, had submitted them, and that's when it was the MTO who said we have to wait.
So out of aside from construction, or sorry, John, did you want to add something?
No, no.
Okay. Aside from construction, can you, and understanding each is unique, you mentioned a build time. What is the ideal amount of time someone would want to or would expect, or that window to have a sign installed?
If they're looking for signs for May 2-4 weekend to begin, they start now.
Okay, perfect.
Yep. Yeah, you got to start now because the what we have is a 90-day window, and that's under perfect circumstances. So that's if we have a permit in place, and
Yes.
if the permit's in place, then once the contract's signed, payment is received, everything's ready to roll. The manufacturer has 30 days to manufacture the sign, then the installer has 30 days to install the sign. But we have a 90-day window there. That's our agreement with the province of Ontario.
After paperwork has been taken care of and approved and permits. Okay.
Correct.
Okay, perfect. No, I mean, just trying to understand this a little bit more, just because of different funding streams that are available.
Right.
Just to try to understand that if this is something that you're looking for next year for your community or your business, to be able to start looking at this now is great. To be able to have something hopefully installed for next summer.
Yeah. The signs are paid for right up front because they're custom made. So that's the number one
Yep.
thing. How our contracts work now is you pay a year deposit basically, and then when the sign is installed, you receive an invoice to take it to the end of that year. So if your sign was installed November 1st, you would be paying November to December 31st, 2024, and then your year deposit that you put down would cover 2025. That's how
Awesome.
it works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Is it often that a business would have multiple signs?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
Almost every customer we have has more than one. It's highly
mhm,
irregular that they just have one sign turning them left here, and then their business is down that side road, and it's right off. They have their own signage out front. I
perfect.
mean, there is the odd occasion, but in most cases they want north and southbound, or they want east and westbound to grab traffic coming in both directions.
Of course. Okay. And these are typically for a specific, and I did share in the chat the link for the eligibility, and I will share this with an email afterwards for everybody who's joined. You'll get the recording in case you missed the beginning, as well as the links to the website and these resources. But one of the other questions here is about not necessarily the community as its own, like for example, specific town name, but it would more be an attraction within that community. Is that correct?
The signs are attraction sign. We do have under the criteria, and I'll bring it back up here again. There is I just got to find it here. My sales, rural downtowns.
Oh, perfect.
So I'll share that again. Hang on.
Doing a quick look at that criteria, that likely would be many of our rural communities.
Right. So that is an option for signing a rural downtown. We do have a number of them signed across province. There's also a tourist cluster. If you have, say, 3 marinas, they can have one sign that says, Georgian Bay Marinas or something like that. And then when they get there, then they have their own signage at the end of that destination so that they share the cost.
Perfect.
Right.
Jen, go ahead.
Thanks. So could you walk me through if I was interested in signage? Oh wait, it has to be on Highway 21. It has to be on the highways, right? So it couldn't be on the county line. I was just wondering about signage for Big Bruce. So he's in Chesley. He's a large roadside attraction. So the signage that Todd's does would be on 21, 9, or 6. So would Chesley be too far away from 21 for that kind of signage?
How far is Chesley from 21? Can you give me
It would be a 15-minute drive.
No, we sign up to 50 kilometers and
Okay.
can go beyond that if there's no like the closer venues get the signage first. So, but if we don't have any signage at that intersection, I mean, we've got 171 kilometers. That's up in the north, right? Like you get up around Thunder Bay and that, you've got some camps that are 300 kilometers in and they have a sign. So it depends on the intersection that you're referring to. If there's not 8 customers, then there's no problem putting a sign up.
Okay, thanks.
Anything
Any
further?
other questions? We more just listening in for information today, sparking some ideas. You're a very easy group. I love it. And please feel free to unmute yourself or use the chat. But yeah, just trying to provide a little bit more information of another avenue for your business or for your community. We have another chat coming in and then another question coming in the chat.
That looks like a lot of typing.
There it is.
Yes, our contracts used to run 3 years, but now they only run yearly.
And once the sign's installed, then it's just a yearly fee just to keep it going for the next year?
Once the sign is installed, you get what a prorated invoice to take it to the end of that year. And like I said, your deposit covers the following year.
And then it becomes a
Annual
yearly
renewal.
annual, yeah. So in October, before the following year, invoices are sent out.
Perfect. So yeah, people are not needing to necessarily reapply. Once they're in, then they can continuing with that invoice because the project's underway. Perfect.
Yes, automatically the beginning of October, we send out the invoices for the following year.
Perfect. That works well. A couple more questions coming in. Well, the next question's coming in. Can I point out your map where the signs are currently located? Or Randy, do you want to share that, the Find IT sign? The locator. Okay, so the additional question here, so the additional directional signs, would they be okay to be located on municipal property?
In the area, so there's twofold. For the signs on Highway 6, 21, or 9, it's a permit through the MTO. Any signs along the route, I submit the permits usually to Bruce County to get approved. And then if it's a municipal approval, Bruce County will send me over to that municipality and the contact there to get approval. So each sign, each turn, each sign has to have a permit. So yeah, so we do both the MTO and Bruce County for the permits. So non-MTO is Bruce County.
And those go through our transportation department here.
Yes.
Does that help, Tracy?
So if it, yeah. Oh, I saw that one. So yes, if the permission is not granted for any of the signs required on the route, then we can't put the signs on the highway. The route has to be complete, or we can't, because it's called a broken route by the ministry then. So it's about the transient public finding you. So if they're following the signs and there's missing signs on the route, they get lost. And then you end up with very unhappy clients trying to find you.
What is our present agreement that we have in place up in that area, Sandra?
So right now, it's an extension of an agreement we've had with Bruce County for years. It follows the same municipal agreement that we have in general.
So we are good on Bruce County roads, but if it becomes a municipal road and not a county road, then we have to apply to that municipality.
That's right, correct. I briefly glanced that message. Inside Tobermory, it's very limited, the signs.
Yes, in the downtown core, it's very, very tight for signage down there.
And do you have recommendations on, do you just bring a sign up to the edge of the core? Are there ways that you work with, work to make it more feasible in, for example, Tobermory or tighter communities?
In Tobermory, we only have the option to put signs on Highway 6. So if you're not located on the road we turn people off of, then we can't help you. And in Tobermory itself, it's what we call a reduced Kings Highway sign because we can't fit the big 2-post signs. It's a single post with a 1x4 panel, a maximum of 3 clients on each sign structure. And we're not in a normal permit, we would have 3 to 4 Todd signs in each direction, spaced 100 meters apart. But in the town, there's not the space. So there might be 1 sign north, 1 sign south, maximum 3 clients on each.
Perfect, thank you. Any other questions from the group? These are great so far. I'm really hoping that this is giving a little bit more information. And once again, I'm going to send likely Sandra's contact information because Randy said so. But I'll send that over.
That would be perfect, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, and Sandra, because this is her territory and works in this area, she'll have she'll be the one working with these applications and working directly. She'll be a great person to have contact information with.
So that's what you were liking to see in the Find It?
Yes,
Is
yeah.
the signs that you can, your signs are showing on the website as to.
Perfect. Yeah, just wanted to show just a quick example, just so if anyone was wanting to look to see what else is there, maybe there's a route they don't travel on as frequently, just to get an idea of other businesses that are on there, or perhaps where a sign location might be nice to have. So that's an example there of a custom one for Ontario Parks then with the colored logo.
Correct, that's a major attraction sign.
Perfect, thank you.
Now that's a major attraction sign, but they chose to still remain with the generic icon,
Oh, okay.
which is still no problem.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Well, no, this is awesome. I appreciate everyone being here today, and if there are any more questions, please reach out to myself or Sandra, but I will send this information in an email as well. But with that, thank you very much, Randy, John, Sandra. I really appreciate you taking the time this morning and going through this, showing where someone can find some of this information and walking through the process a little bit more.
It's a busy little intersection.
Yeah.
Hepworth, yep.
So, okay, appreciate your time.
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone.
Thank you. Are we still on?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh.
Yeah, we
Perfect.
can hear you.
Awesome. There you go. This is just our team, so we're all good. You can say anything now. Awesome. Well,